we'll be getting our first in-depth look at the new Herblore activity in Varlamore. So I'm pretty excited about this one, guys. And it seems like none of these ideas are really set in stone. Jagex has been really good lately with just kind of giving us the opportunity to make as many changes as we want to these kind of things, as we'll read in a second. So I've literally just briefly looked at this. So the gameplay is still a little bit confusing just based on what I was looking at. So I can already imagine, literally, I'm going to go in the comments later and be like, dude, you are so clueless as to what this gameplay is, man. Like, fucking read the thing properly. So I'm just putting that out there right now, guys. I probably do not understand how the minigame actually functions, but I don't think it's that important. What I really want to look at is the rewards. So before we get into it, also, I got to apologize. Like, I know Settle told me never to apologize about anything, but I am so stuffy today. It is so bad, but we're going to pull this ramble off anyway. So, but first, we're going to be reviewing the Ultra Red Monster, guys. So let's crack it open, ice cold. Oh, my nails are so short right now. Oh, my God. Woo! I always got to do the woo. That that's like the superstitious, like, makes it taste a little bit better. Okay, so let's try it. Zero sugar, everybody. Let's give it a little try. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of fruit punch. I feel like this is fruit punch flavored, right? It's got to be. I don't know. Like the last two, like we had the grape one. The grape one actually is better than this one, in my personal opinion. This one's all right. Like no monster is really bad, I feel like. But this one tastes like... just tastes like red Kool-Aid, a little bit carbonated. It's got that caffeine. It tastes like red Kool-Aid. You guys remember red Kool-Aid? Yeah, I'm throwing back all the like nostalgia tastes, like the Flintstone vitamins last time. This time it's literally just red Kool-Aid. Carbonated Sayo. So yeah, I give it a... wait, what did I give the grape one? Should we give it ratings? I'm going to give this one like a fucking 6 out of 10. Not impressed. Probably a 5 out of 10 because I'm already like just imagining what the other monsters could be. This is like probably down there with one of the worst, even though it's still totally drinkable. It's good. But yeah, so that's the rating for today. Let me know what do you guys like this red one? I feel like this red one's kind of like the shittiest one of all time, but it's still good. Because Monster really just, like, they can't go wrong. Anyway, let's continue this. Or start it. I gotta stop with these long intros. What do you guys think? Is the long intros annoying? Let me know down in the comments. Also, drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. Or a dislike if those are too long for you. You can drop a dislike for this one. All right, on the mainland, Herblore has existed in much the same way since the Druids first honed their craft. In Varlamore, however, they brew potions a little differently. The lush island of Alderin is the perfect locale for Varlamore's alchemists to grow and study herbs and other Herblore ingredients. Through intense study, they've discovered that all herbs contain a set of basic alchemical elements which can be mixed differently to produce beneficial effects. In their laboratory, they serve the kingdom by mixing up potions in exchange for the time and resources required to continue their studies. However, with the influx of new visitors to Varlamore, potion orders have gone through the roof. The alchemist's reputation is at stake, and they need your help to get the orders out on time. Are you willing to lend a hand? Then keep reading to learn all about Varlamore's new Herblore activity. So why do they call it an Herblore activity? Is it like a PR stunt? Because like Herblore minigame, just surely somebody in Jagex's discussions, they get into like their little room, their little workshop, and they're like, should we call this an Herblore minigame? They're like, hell no, do not call it a minigame. Just don't do it. Activity is better. Like use the word activity. Surely that's intentional, right? Like there's just no way that like anybody would have said minigame, but like I feel like they're saying activity a lot. Herblore activity. Yeah, okay. Why does activity sound like a children's? I mean, we are playing a children's game, to be fair, but like, doesn't activity just sounds like, why not Herblore challenge or something? Herblore, I don't fucking know. I feel like activity is so like playful. It's too playful. Oh, I guess this is playful. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so judgmental this morning. All right, gameplay. Before we begin, please note that we are at an early stage of development and details are subject to change from now up until release. As we mentioned previously, this activity is not intended to supplant the classic Herblore experience. As such, we're not aiming for high XP per hour. Instead, we want to focus on the production aspect of Herblore and provide an alternative training method that doesn't shift the meta. As such, this activity is targeted at players with 70 plus Herblore. Targeted. Although lower level players can still join in the fun. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, it's so gross. After a small quest explaining the fundamentals of alchemy, you'll have free reign to start filling out orders. The activity is free to enter. The alchemists need all the help they can get. And you can leave at any time. These alchemists just like, trying to get free labor. Like we like, why not pay us, you know? Although you'll need to bring your own herbs. Alchemy doesn't use secondary ingredients. Instead, you'll be processing herbs into basic elements and using the results to brew potions. Before we dive into the process, here's what the laboratory could look like. Oh my god. Okay, delivery counters, I'm pretty sure are the black strips right here. Processing machines are the purple. Mixer, herb mill, bank chest. Exactly. Like, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. Does anyone know what they're looking at right here? This looks like a lobster, bro. Anyway, your orders are listed on an overlay interface, meaning you can easily keep track of the potions on your list, along with the time remaining to fulfill the order. All potions have two components to watch out for, the modifier and the base. For example, concentrated, Mason's tonic. Okay, so the concentrated is the modifier. Once you've picked an order to work on, your first job is to break down your herbs into paste using the herb mill. Then put the paste into the mixer, which will convert them into usable base elements, lye, aga, mox, or lamb for short. Herbs give different values of each base element, subject to balancing. Here's what we're thinking. Okay, so it looks like it goes... Wait, what? Why are cadentines value 1? Okay. I'm already getting worried right now. Not worried, but... Like, why? Okay, so isn't a cadentine or a cadentine or however you pronounce it, isn't that thing literally a higher herb than a Renard and an Avanto and a Snapdragon? Now, I know I'm just focusing on these four, but why would the value of a cadentine be lower? So this is my worry. Like, I really hope that we're not going down the same route of basing values off of what the current Grand Exchange value is. For some reason, that just bothers me. Now, I can probably go into the reasons why. One of the reasons why is, okay, so what we saw with Chambers, again, I'm not actually even clear as to what the value means. Does the value mean like this, an Avanto is worth 2 of these? Like, is that how it's worth? Is that the value pretty much? Because... if that's how we're doing it, we saw this mistake with... Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong with this. What is the value? What's the ones going on? Okay, I'm just going to say my little piece, and I could be completely wrong on what these values are. But anyway, basically my problem is that on the release of Chambers of Xeric, dwarf weeds were already dirt cheap because literally the only use for them was making range pots. And so what they decided to do was base the quantities of herbs you get from Chambers based on their current GE values. So dwarf weeds are just being shat out by this like 200 at a time for like the piss easiest raid or whatever, even more than that, whatever it was. And then the expensive herbs, the current GE value at the time of the expensive herbs like Snapdragons, you get a tiny little bit of them or whatever they drop. Renards, do they drop Snapdragons? I don't know. But whatever those ones were, it was based off the GE value. So in turn, what you got was a just dumpage of dwarf weeds into the economy. Just dumpage of them because like they're cheap and we got to make all the proper like drops like kind of somewhat equal in price, right? Like surely. So let's just dump like 10x the amount of dwarf weeds that we are Renard weeds into the economy because that makes sense, right? And in turn, what happens is dwarf weeds become cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Whereas the Renards just become more expensive, more expensive, more expensive because they already are the ones that everyone wants to use in the first place. So like, what the hell is going on? Why can't we base it off of what the tiers of herbs are in the Herblore level up thing is? You know what I'm talking about, guys? Like when you go to the Herblore tab in your skills and you just look at the levels of herbs, Like those should be the appropriate weighting of stuff, I feel like, right? Like Guam should be the stuff that's just being shat out. Fine, here's all those low level stuff. But it should go down the list as, what is the most? I think it's dwarf, or I guess Torstals is the most. Like Torstals should be the ones that are shat out the least, basically. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to say right now. I don't know what this whole value thing is, because why would a quorum or a quarm before an Atlantinine be one of the same Aga? Anyway, I'm going way too deep into this. I don't know what the hell these weightings are or these values, but anyway. Did you guys even understand anything I just said? Let me know down in the comments. Do you guys know? Okay, once you've got your lamb, use the 3 levers next to the mixer to mix them into one of the 10 distinct potion bases. You'll be able to one-tick these levers, so there's no waiting for animations to finish. Just pure production. Okay, cool. Goosebane, earworm, relaxative, Mason's tonic, sunbeam, mix-a-lot, wonder wash, wizard away, fairy's fire, shrinker. Sorry, I had to say those. They're just interesting. Cool names. L. This is a big L. Yeah, it's a triple L right here. Shrinker, what? Now we have a base. We have to think about the modifier, which we apply using the appropriate processing machines. There are 3 to choose from: the retort, the centrifuge, and the alembic. And they apply the concentrated, homogeneous, and crystallized modifiers, respectively. They also have different processing times. The retort is a passive method with slow progress. The centrifuge needs active interaction, but progresses quickly. Finally, the alembic processes instantly. In our example, the concentrated Mason's tonic will need to use the retort. Since this is a slow process, we have some downtime to focus on mixing up some of the other potions on our order list, although it won't be too long. Once processed, pick up your freshly brewed potions and stick them on the delivery counter. You'll be rewarded with points split between L, A, and M for each correct potion you've shipped before the order times out. Interesting. Okay. Kind of getting, I'm understanding a slight bit more, but yeah, without the visuals, I'm just kind of lost. But yeah, that makes enough sense. Okay, so to recap, check the current orders and select one, paying close attention to both the modifier and name of the order. Head to the bank chest and grab the necessary herbs. Break them down into paste using the herb mill. Add the paste to the mixer to change them into lamb elements. Choose the correct combination of lamb elements based on the name using the levers next to the mixer. Collect your potion base and select the right tool to give it the correct modifier. Once completed your potion on the delivery counter, put your potion on the delivery counter and enjoy your points. Interesting. That's the core gameplay sorted. Just in case you missed it earlier, we're not revealing XP rates, but you can expect this to be a low XP activity. Instead, we're offering a selection of special rewards for you to spend your potions on. Okay, so before we get into the reward section, I have to say one more thing, and that is the gameplay loop. So it's all cool. This is again like completely subjective. This is my own personal opinion. I just feel like it might have a little bit of value to just say this right now. But there is more to an activity than just writing down on paper, here's a process of what you follow, and then you just repeat that for 100 hours and get all the rewards. Like, there's something more to RuneScape than just clicking and having processes go. Like, what I think of is Giant's Foundry. So if we just imagine Giant's Foundry, as most of you know, I'm not a fan of Giant's Foundry because of the gameplay. The gameplay loop of it is so boring and so, like, I can't say the word clunky because it's not clunky, but there's too many stalls. Like, things aren't going quick enough, and it's not as egregious as first, let's just say, Herblore-todt. When you go and try to put your kindling into the brazier, you click on the brazier, you run over there, and nothing's happening for the next 2 ticks. It's just like your guy's loading up for it or something. It's kind of standing there awkwardly. Oh, you got frozen. Now you're just fucking sitting there. Click it again. Nothing's happening for the first 3. That is triggering, and I don't even feel like people understand how triggering that is. And I'm almost putting that on. I feel like people could understand how triggering it is if they saw how much smoother it could be. So, for example, if Wintertodt had always been you approach the brazier and literally as you're approaching it, you're already dumping your kindling in, that would feel so much better. And then imagine they revert it to what we have now, which is like you sit there, nothing's happening for the first 2 ticks. You're just kind of looking around, and then all of a sudden you start dumping it every 4 ticks, and any interruption just freezes you again. Like that kind of shit is, it's not clunky necessarily. I mean, it is clunky in that situation, but with Giant's Foundry, for example, you approach one of the stations and nothing happens for the first little bit. Like there's too much of a load up time. And I know this is like such a nitpicky thing, but it literally makes activities feel so much better when things are snappier. Like when you go to a station and the shit just snaps, like you're like the thing that you want to do that, like, you know, let's just say we run up to a mixer. The last thing I want to see is like running up to a mixer or whatever and have our guy just awkwardly kind of sit there for the first 2 ticks, kind of just waiting around, and then all of a sudden the menu pops up or something and you click the thing. Like, can we make this stuff snappy? Like, can we just make it so you click the mixer and like literally the very tick you've arrived, you've already processed the mixing of stuff. So everything's just snappier. You're just going to your stations really quickly. There's no bullshit. There's not an overflow of menus that you need to be clicking and stuff, because imagining this minigame is something that people are going to be doing for like, I don't know, 20 to 100 hours. I don't know how long people are going to be doing this for, but we got to make it like snappy. We got to make it fun. We got to make it quick. We got to make it satisfying. That's the key word here, is this, the satisfaction of predictably going to your station and getting the extraction of it, like whatever the objective is at that station, it's snappy and it's satisfying. It's just like, boom, you're there, boom, you're out, you get it done, and there's no awkward waiting times. There's no feeling like your character is being glued to the station. You guys know what I'm saying? There's so many examples of that in RuneScape, where you click on something, you realize you didn't actually want to click on that thing, but you already misclicked it. So your dude's just kind of glued there. Like he's just kind of awkwardly standing there. The game has to process what he's doing for a couple ticks. A menu loads up and you're like, fucking A, like I didn't even mean to click that thing. I'm trying to run away from this thing. And it's not letting me because my character is now glued to this. It's so annoying. Like, I'm sorry, I had to go on this rant. I hate the stickiness of not being able to move freely and things taking too long. It's just like not fun. It's just not satisfying. And I want a satisfying activity. I want to jump into this minigame, or any minigame for that matter, and just feel like I'm zooming. Like I can zoom, I get stuff done, things are satisfying, you can time it properly, like you just get into a way better state rather than just having a generic station that nobody's play tested for more than 20 minutes and just like, okay, well, it works, it's functioning, like this is great. Like I'm like, as a developer, I'm not gonna be doing this mini game. It's for the players, so hopefully they like it. And they've never actually just done this activity for like 3 hours straight or something and really felt what it feels like, like they probably do that, but I'm just, in my head, when I see Giant's Foundry, I see somebody that like, just here it is, like it works, it functions, it makes sense. It's a toddler mini game. Like it's just going to your stations. It's sort of clunky. It's kind of annoying. It's pissing me off a little bit, but like it'll do the trick. Like, why can't we make an activity super satisfying and enjoyable along with everything else? Giant's Foundry had the perfect opportunity to do that. And I've talked about it in previous rambles, what they could have done to make that shit just so much more satisfying, so much snappier. But no, we just have this kind of clunky thing that'll never get changed in the future. So I just really hope, and this is where I'll wrap things up before we get into the rewards. I'm sorry for saying this. There's probably like 5 of you even staying past this little section. You guys are just listening. But seriously, that stuff pisses me off. And I want a fun mini game you can have both. You can have both worlds. You can have the snappiness, the satisfying nature of it all. Just feel like you're in a nice little pattern and stuff with the skilling kind of mini games. And just don't make things overly convoluted. Don't have too many menus opening. Don't have all these things that just feel like you're slowing things down. It becomes sluggish. It becomes like you're sticky, kind of like I don't know. I almost wish I could just like go into like the Jagex office and like see these things in like development and just like Just be like, this didn't feel good. This didn't feel good. This little part of this minigame didn't feel good. I feel like that's not even necessary. They could literally release a minigame and then just listen to the player base for like the next 2 weeks and just get that clunkiness out of there. Now, of course, with minigames and skilling stuff, there is sort of that problem where like, oh, well, if we start speeding things up, or if, this is one tick faster, then the XP rates are going to shoot up. Well, we could balance the XP rates too if that's a big problem. But anyway, I'm sorry. I needed to say that. Rewards. All right, I'm going to take a sip of those too. In our last blog, we wanted to share your reward ideas for this activity. You clearly enjoyed flexing your creative muscles because we've seen some amazing suggestions. And now we have a really clear idea of what the community wants from this activity. So without further ado, let's take a look. All right, potion packs. Untradeable. The first reward is pretty straightforward. 3 different packs, 1 for each of the lamb components. Each one is packed with potions made from the herbs you use to gain those points. For example, if you used Renar, Cadentine, Avento, or Snapdragon, you'll be able to buy an L potion pack. What about the dub potion? Can we buy a dub? Featuring pots like prayer pots and super defense potions. Interesting. So you just buy them straight up. Cool. Reagents pouch. Untradeable. Make space for your secondaries with this latest in-item storing technology. This handy pouch lets you store up to 28 secondary ingredients from limpwort roots to unicorn horns. Interesting. Cool. So, yeah, I was just about to say, like, ooh, why can't it hold more than that? Because I already know why you can't, because people would be using this pouch to pick up secondaries. I'm imagining, like, if you're like a low level slayer doer and you get herb or limpworts off the ground, you can just pick those up. Same thing with unicorn horns. You can just shove them in your bag, which is kind of cool. Yeah, it makes sense. But people are also going to be using this. Well, let me make sure, because what would be cool is if this also works when creating potions. So for example, you have your pouch full of limpworts in your inventory, and then you have 27 unfinished strength pots. Can you click the bag? Like, are you able to click that pouch and use it on the potion? Like, is that going to be a possibility at all? Because that's what I'm imagining potion making becoming twice as easy now, where instead of a 14 by 14, you're just doing a 27 by 1, and that one just keeps extracting, similar to like a coal bag or something. Is that how it's going to work? Or is this simply just for those super low levels picking up their every little limpwort that drops on the ground? Also, if this is a thing, can we make it so... I'll be honest, can we just make it so it holds more? Like, 28 is sort of pathetic. I actually think this should be on the tier of herb sack. Why can't this thing be an herb sack? So, for example, it holds up to 60 of all the secondaries, So you now have a secondaries bag similar to a gem bag. By the way, the gem bag should be updated so it can hold 60 opals, jades, and red topaz too, by the way. I don't know why that's still not updated, but what if it holds 60 of all secondaries, or at least a pretty sizable list of secondaries similar to the herb pouch that just holds a bunch of herbs. So it holds 60. I think herb pouch actually only holds 30. So gem bag's the one that holds 60. So also, can we make it so the herb sack holds 60 too? I feel like 60 is a cleaner number than 30. What do you guys think? Anyway, I'm kind of going on a way too big of a tangent right here. But what I'm saying is, if we're not going to make it so you can use potions with it, if that is a possibility, that'd be amazing. But I'm also thinking how cool it would be just to be able to hold a lot more secondaries in there. I just feel like that could be a better way to go about it if that's its primary use, is just picking up things. Like, can it hold more than just 28? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like certain situations. There was something on my mind. I just lost it. So I'm not even going to, if I think about it again, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, anyway, not particularly happy about that. Like, is this just 28 secondary ingredients total, or is it going to be 28 of each? Or just, I don't know. This thing seems pretty shitty right now. Unless, again, they make it so you can use those secondaries directly and start making potions, and it's extracting from the bag to the potions immediately. Alchemist's set. The prescribed eyewear in this stylish clothing set lets you see beyond the physical realm and into the science zone. What the fuck? Well, not really, but wearing them or any of the other set pieces will net you a 2.5% chance to save a secondary ingredient when mixing potions, for a total of 10% with the full outfit. Cool. So no extra XP, just saving secondaries. The full set contains goggles, top, legs, and gloves. Nifty. Cool. Okay, so I think I saw something on Twitter just saying about like, hey, can we chill with the like outfits? I don't really mind outfits and stuff, but it really just makes everybody kind of like similar looking whenever they're doing any activity, which is, I don't think it's like the worst thing in the world, but one of the cons is just you can't wear Fashionscape anymore without kind of trolling. You know, you may as well use the outfit, and we have so many fucking outfits nowadays. You know what? They're going to talk about this in a second. The whole like I was to say porridge potion storage. We're going to talk about that in a second. But what would be really cool is to have an outfit storage in your bank. That would be amazing. Because right now, if you want to hold all your outfits in there, that's taking up a shit ton of space. We should have an outfit tab that just give us a secondary bank account at this point, please. For the love of God. Can we get a secondary bank account? Is that possible, Jagex? Seriously, who wants that? I want a secondary bank account. It could even have like a monthly fee to it, like pay a mil GP every month to just keep your bank account alive. Maybe that would be too much, the monthly stuff, but just a one-time payment, 10 mil, here you go. Give me a secondary bank account, or even more than that. It could be it could be fucking a bill. Just send it, but I know nobody would like that, but I'd be willing still. You could make that shit so expensive. Amulet of Chemistry Imbued. Untradeable. Brimming with power, this imbued version of the classic amulet will not just give you a sizable increase in charges, but also ups the chance to mix 4-dose potions to 15%. Powerful stuff. Okay, so personally, I think I also saw this on Twitter somewhere. Can we just make this so it's a sleeve? So, for example, the Amulet of Chemistry Eye is a more powerful version. Like the 15% sounds great. But can we make it so the way you charge it is by dumping your amulets of chemistry into it? So there still is that need and desire to make these things, and jades will still hold a valuable price. But yeah, like you need to store those jades, those necklaces you've already made, into this thing, or the amulets into this sleeve. So those are how you're holding the charges. Like, I just feel like that's a much better way than just now like amulets of chemistry basically meaning nothing. Like, they still will mean something, but literally nobody's going to be using them because they're just going to be like, I may as well just go and get the fucking untradeable version. I just feel like going a sleeve route this way is just more appropriate, personally, because you still have to get the untradeable thing. It's more powerful, but you also have to be using your jades that you get from it. I just feel like that's a lot more appropriate. If they still go down this route, I'm not going to like lose sleep over it, because I don't even use these amulets anyway. I mean, I've used them before, but they just become really obnoxious. So if there's a way to just hold a bunch of charges in there and never have to recharge again, that would literally just be amazing. Like that alone, even if it wasn't the 15%, it just remained the 5%, that would still be really powerful. But the fact that you're boosting it up to 15% and you can just hold as many charges as you have jades, that would be fucking amazing. Can we just do that? Pre-pot device. Untradeable. I think this should be tradable personally, but let me know what you guys think. Why drink one potion when you could create a cocktail of flavors and effects for any occasion? This special device lets you insert doses from up to 5 different potions and drink them all at once. Sounds a bit like our uni days. We'll be exploring the functionality of this item and everything surrounding it to make this as smooth a process as possible. This includes ensuring that this powerful effect is balanced appropriately. Currently, we're not allowing players to use this item, or we're only allowing players to use this item within a bank or next to a bank chest. So, like, I'm okay with a pre-pot device, but if we're going to make a pre-pot device, I think I saw somebody on Twitter saying this is like very non-RuneScapey. It's true. Anything that comes out feels like, oh, this isn't classic RuneScape, man. What the fuck? But I'm really not even against a pre-pod device. But can we make it so the pre-pod device is actually powerful? So basically, you can even dump your anglers in there. So what you do is like, just imagine like a screen where you're setting up your pre-pod device. It's like a one-time setup. Obviously, you can change it whenever you want, but just a one-time setup. So a menu opens up and it just shows what you want to drink in what order. And that order basically eliminates all stalls, but it still goes in order. So for example, like you would eat like an angler first to boost up to 121, but then you would drink the, or better yet, just divine super combat, divine range, shark, angler, imbued heart, anti-poison, anti-fire, and you just have all of those. And what it does is it just makes it so this is the set order, and then whenever you click that thing at a bank, it instantly does every single thing in the proper order, and now you're fully pre-potted. It didn't take any ticks. You just click it once. It's like a fucking, like your dude just explodes basically, and you're ready to go. That would be dope. That would be so dope, but it has to allow any possible combination of things. It can't just be 5 potions. It's got to be your full ass, like, it's got to be the full fucking thing. You know, it's got to be the full pre-pot. It just has to. It has to be every single thing that you need. A stamina's in there as well. I forgot about stamina. I forgot about, you know, potentially, maybe you'd have to get a secondary imbued heart. Well, I guess people would just start using the other, what is that thing called? What's the like ancient brew or something? What's the thing that boosts you? Anyway, something like that. Maybe you could just dump an imbued heart in there too. It'd be like an item sink. Although that'd be really triggering for Iron Men. But that's what I'm saying, guys. What do you guys think? Pre-pod device that truly is the pre-pod of all pre-pods. Just click it, your dude explodes. It has every single thing you wanted in there. You can only use it at a bank, and it's just instantaneous. That would be so sick. Okay, that would make this so worth it. And honestly, you don't even need to make it untradeable. Why even make it untradeable? Make this thing fucking expensive, you know? Make this thing like pretty rare, a pre-pod device, if it was the way I just described it, and make it so it's tradable. So people can just buy these pre-pod devices and boom, now you can just do Tob with the boys within a fucking click. Like that'd be so sick. Let me know, you guys. Is every single one of these things is untradeable? Jesus Christ. Potion storage. This final reward is one of the most requested items in all of Herblore. A storage solution that will finally free your bank slots from the tyranny of potions. Essentially, after unlocking this item, the potions in your bank will be automatically placed into potion storage, which will have a separate interface for you to withdraw them from. We'd really like to hear your thoughts on this approach, especially as we recognize this could just be a new button on the bank interface instead of a whole new project or object. Or perhaps it could be a new furniture item for your player-owned house. What do you think? Let us know in the survey below. So I'm going to have this blog linked, guys. You guys can let people know the whole like survey thing down here. And that's a wrap. If you're looking for some more, you can chat to Mod Mac and Mod Sarni at 4 p.m. BST on April 23rd. By the way, we're having Mod Sarni on the Sebecast this Wednesday. Pretty fucking excited about that. So, yeah, stay tuned for that. Yeah, honestly, when it comes to this whole, like, potion storage thing, I'm against these, like, additional storages. I'm really against the seed vault, too. Like, not against it. It's just, like, I don't even use it personally because I always hated it. It just felt clunky. It felt like I always had to go to this other place whenever I get seeds from anything. Just go to the seed thing. Now, if there was, like, an instant deposit into your seed vault from a bank, that would be a lot nicer. But why, like... Is there anything stopping us from just getting a secondary bank account? Secondary bank account has so many cool uses. On top of just allowing you to have additional bank space, it could also be a nice secondary bank account that allows you to track loot super accurately. Now, of course, we already have RuneLight's tracker and stuff, but imagine like for like a YouTuber, like imagine like Mr. No Sleep or somebody doing a 10-hour video of something and using a secondary bank account to dump everything in there. Or, you know, you're going to be like, I'm going to see how much loot I can make in a week. So you're using your secondary bank account for a week and you see how much, you know, loot you can get. And then you show off that loot and it's all in a secondary bank account. So none of the rune stacks or anything else is stacked up with your other stacks in your normal bank. It's all there in this separate one. So it's really easy to see how much like you've made and stuff. Like, I don't know, like secondary bank account just sounds so much cooler than just always adding new weird storage things and shit. But you guys can let me know. I just feel like going down the secondary bank account is just so much cooler in my personal opinion. So let me know what you guys think. And what are you guys' thoughts overall on this whole Herblore activity? Again, just TLDR. I want it to be snappy. I want the whole activity to feel satisfying. It's cool that you have these little stations you go to, but it's got to feel good. It's got to feel like you're getting shit done. It doesn't feel like you're getting glued to anything. Just make it a good feeling mini game. And the rewards seem cool. I feel like potion storage, or yeah, should just be a secondary bank slot. Pre-pot device should be tradable. Amulet of chemistry, I mean, even that could be tradable, to be honest. These things could be tradable. I don't really care. Alchemist set, again, it's fine. But ultimately, like, are we ever going to get that trinket thing? I think Gentle Tractor brought it up years and years ago. The whole, like, blessing slot that you can store your skilling outfits into. So then you can still rock Fashionscape and get the benefit of what your skilling outfit did, basically. So it's kind of like overriding, but it's literally just for those, for like skilling, so you can be in Fashionscape. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. And that's it for me, guys. Thank you all for listening. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. If you guys want to support me as a creator, you can through YouTube membership. So down in the description if you guys want to support me. Also, the Patreon is a way to support me as well. I greatly appreciate it. Starting at $2 a month. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.